Coach Daugherty, talk about one exhibition underway. Talk about your thoughts on the first exhibition from the other night.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome everybody to the new basketball season. It's here before we know it, and we're excited. You know, finishing third in the conference tournament last year has been a great confidence builder and something that you know, our players have had a tremendous offseason. The best offseason I've seen us have in my 6 years at Washington State. We've improved in the weight room with strength and speed, and we've also improved in the skill category. So practices have been very competitive, a lot better skill level, obviously a lot better conditioning than what we've seen in the past, and we're excited about this season. Coming off the first exhibition game, Simon Fraser, wonderful test, very well coached team that's expected to win. I think they're Division II. They're expected to possibly win their national championship. So we were tested early, and I really liked the way our team responded. The things I liked about their response was that I thought we controlled the first 5 minutes of both halves, came out with a lot of energy defensively, forcing 33 turnovers, really got us into our running game and got us excited about that. We were able to see every player on the floor for a few minutes, at least under the lights, so to speak, and everybody that was there and anybody that saw it off camera saw that we have a lot of weapons this year, especially offensively. So it's an exciting year, and we're looking forward to, again, building on that third place finish at the conference tournament last year.
Now, where you got to see a lot of players on Tuesday, so now what's the goal for Saturday? Do you scale stuff down, or you want to see some people in different situations?
Yeah, we'll play Saturday at noon with Western Oregon, and we need to continue to stay focused on Cougar basketball. I mean, we've got a lot of areas to improve upon, both individually and our skill sets, and I think the next step is understanding exactly the system and playing it at a higher level.
You talk about the 6 freshmen. That's obviously a challenge, logistically, and just 6 people to get inducted into the program. What do you want to see on the court the first month? This team with the 6 freshmen. It's a brand new look for you guys.
Yeah, well, what I have seen, Bobby, is that our upperclassmen have been phenomenal leaders with them. They are bringing them along on and off the court, and it is a very, very large group. It's a group that's obviously very talented. We were able to get into states like New Mexico, Minnesota, the Big Island, Hawaii, for 2 players that we have not been able to get into before. This is an extremely, extremely talented freshman class and a very competitive class. They are fighting right now to gain playing time, and we started Leah as a true freshman the other night. So it's exciting to see the leadership from our upperclassmen, the hard work by our upperclassmen to set the tone, and how talented these kids are and how much everybody's pushing each other for playing time.
Let's talk a little bit about the veterans, some key returners. Carly Noyes, senior, returns at the center. Sage Romberg is a junior who started, most of the games, through her first couple years. And then Iridi Mojo, you get her back, and it was nice to see her hit a 3 early the other night. Those three veterans that have been through a lot and were big parts of our success last year.
You're exactly right. And of course, Katie Grad. I mean, Katie Grad is a 50-year player in our program. Her and Iriti actually played high school ball for 1 year together at Auburn Riverside High School with their first state championship that they won. But Katie's been, Katie's first step is improved a lot. I think her defense has improved. She came off the bench the other night and gave us phenomenal minutes. I think she scored 7, 8 straight points and really, I think, got us up into a more aggressive defensive mode to get us in that running game. So great leadership on her part, much improved player. Iriti Mojo, what a great story this is. This is a young lady who we lost in the the regular season last year, the first game of conference play at University of Oregon, and she was our leading scorer after playing a tremendous preseason to an ACL injury, her second. She has worked extremely hard to get that leg turned around and get her confidence back out on the court. And I'll tell you, when she hit that first shot in the exhibition game, there was a lot of people in the stands that were on their feet and a little bit of tears in their eyes to see a kid that to transform herself after 2 ACLs and come back out there and play with that kind of confidence and courage. Carly Noyes has been our lockdown defensive post player for 4 years as a starter. I think that Carly's improved a lot in 2 areas. One, her offensive skills, her step back move is one of the best in the Pac-12, and the other thing is her rebounding. One of the things that we've always asked her to do is she takes on the bigger opponent, she boxes that person out. A lot of times she doesn't get the rebound, but offensively I think that, she's starting to get a better knack for getting us offensive rebounds and putbacks, which gives us great numbers inside from her. Sage Romberg, junior, right, and an all Pac-12 performer named that way her freshman year. Sage will continue to play the 4 position for us in our 4-out, 1-in offense. Tremendous passer, great 3-point shooter. We call her Silk, Smooth. We call her a lot of nicknames, but she really has an unbelievable skill package for a 6'3" post player. Very long and lean in there to get into passing lanes in our defensive scheme. So really proud of our upperclassmen, the leadership that they're playing. I think every one of our upperclassmen got better in the off season in the skill area in particular. So hats off to them.
Maybe one more player that we missed out on. Junior Brandy Thomas returns, and the second half of last season, Brandy came on and took over a starting role, and then was a huge part of the wins down at the Pac-12 tournament. Talk about, Brandy Thomas is another returner. That's a big piece coming back.
Yeah, Brandy out of Elma. She moved to the guard position last year after playing the front line and really became a proficient shooter for us. This young lady who lives in the gym, we have to kick her out sometimes. She's on the shooting machines a lot, but she really accepted her role as being the go-to last year after we lost Daugherty to the knee injury. And she's just built on that. And I think the other two you've got to talk about is Tia Presley. Don't forget about Tia. Tia was having a great freshman year when unfortunately she broke her foot in L.A. But Tia, again, another young lady who's worked hard to come back off a very, very serious injury, quicker than she's been in the past. I think she's seen the floor better. And offensively, she's really getting her teammates into a nice running game, a nice rhythm in the half-court offense. And defensively, obviously, her athleticism and her energy up top keys it up. And Shaylee Deansall. Shaylee off the Canadian national team, 6'4". Shaylee stayed here all summer. She elected not to try out or go play national team basketball. She really wanted to do everything she could to get herself ready to help the Cougs more. And a great deal of time was spent in the weight room with Shaylee. She's a lot stronger than what she was last year. Her jump hook and her step back, are going to be tough for people to stop. I like the improvement that we've seen in all 3 of those players.
All right, let's open up the questions on the line for Coach Daugherty.
June, do you have is Tia going to be at the point?
Is that Trimmer back?
That's Howie.
Howie? Okay, that's Howie. Okay. Hey, guys. Hi, Jade. I think you're on, too. Appreciate you guys being on. Tia has started. She started last night at the point guard, just like last year, and gives us very, very good experience up top. Like I said, she's a little bit quicker than she was last year, and I think offensively, at times, as you know, being the all-time scorer in the GSL, she can be very explosive and really roll up numbers very quick. But I think she's sharing the basketball a little bit better. She's seen the floor a lot quicker than what she saw her reads than last year. So excited about Tia and her continued improvement.
June, as far as you talked a little bit about Brandy and Daugherty, with Brandy, will you keep her or maybe use her versatility since she had to switch to the outside? And then how much do you really think that Emojo can really provide? We have to bring her along slowly.
Yeah, you bring up 2 really good points, and Jada, I appreciate that. With Brandy, as you've seen her quite a bit, she's a very athletic, long, just about 6'2" guard. So, we are obviously counting on her to continue to improve with her first step, her ball handling, her passing skills outside, as well as being a lights-out shooter. But I think the other thing is you will see us continue to flash her into the post and post her up and use that versatility because she's good around the rim, and she's also presents, I think, some real tough matchups for some of the teams that we will face this year just because of her being able to play the 2 or step into the post and make some things happen. And again, we're counting on her to get on the glass. Daugherty, she was cleared full, I think maybe it was about 21 days ago. And so she's still trying to find her rhythm, let's say, to be honest about it. And she's still trying to get in great shape, which is tough to do with the pace in which we want to play this year. But every day it's a work in progress, and Daugherty knows it. And I'll tell you what, she is willing to put in the time. She's put in the extra time. And we were in the gym at 6:30 in the morning a couple days ago, and she was doing ladder drills, jumping ropes, run 3-minute drills, and knowing that she had a full practice and a few hours ahead. So she is working to make up time, and we really need her because we love her leadership, and we also know that she can, I believe she's the best jump shooter in the Pac-12, bar none. And so we need that from her.
Her leadership is another thing I was going to ask about. I mean, is she one of the ones that's stepping up the most as far as that goes to the team, or is there one person that's really kind of taking over that role?
Yeah, no, I see it it's almost by committee right now. And maybe it's because we're mixing 6 new players into this program, but I've seen it from freshmen, and I've seen it obviously from the seniors. But Daugherty is certainly somebody like Katie and Carly who really know the system, that you're counting on them stepping out and executing the system at a high level to show the kids on the sidelines, hey, this is how we play Cougar basketball. And I think the other thing that when they are on the sidelines, they've been great ambassadors, so to speak, to talk to the kids, encourage them, let them know that, hey, right now you're probably a little cross-eyed as a freshman because the playbook's pretty thick here in Pullman, but you'll get there.
Coach, this is Troy and Lewiston. I remember last year you guys traveled quite a bit in the preseason. I see in this year's schedule you only go to the East Coast twice, Louisville and Syracuse, and that's back-to-back. I guess, how does that help you guys not having to travel, out to the Caymans or, wherever you were last year?
Well, it doesn't help the tan, Eddie, because we had, the Virgin Islands trip. But honestly and seriously, Troy, thanks for being on from Lewiston. But I believe if you're a Pac-12 coach, we are playing to get into the NCAAs and one day win the NCAAs. And I don't believe that if you're a coach in this conference, you should be scheduling anything but the very best competition, because my philosophy is you have to play the best in order to become the best. And we want to become the best. We know the Pac-12 is going to be unbelievable this year. I mean, everybody just better get ready. I mean, it's going to be from top to bottom, it's going to be unbelievable. But we will continue to challenge ourselves with a great schedule. I thought it was great that we had Louisville here last year, and we were able to go to Michigan, go to Ohio State, go to Penn State, on and on and on, right? I mean, we put a lot of freaking flyer miles. But the good thing about us is that most of those teams are returning now to Pullman. To have the Ohio State as an alum, I guess I have to say it that way these days, but to have Ohio State in here to play in December, and to get Wisconsin back over here. Obviously, BYU is going to be very good this year. On and on. It's going to be great basketball in the Palouse, and we're very excited about continuing to play a tough schedule to help us prepare for the Pac-12, and we're really excited to be staying home and playing them in Beasley.
And Coach, another thing I want to ask you about the schedule is sort of that switch this year where the rivalry games are the same week. Especially the Washington thing, you played them on the 15th, and then you played them again on the 28th. I guess what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I'd be interested to ask you guys. I mean, you guys in the sports world that are on today, because it's new for us as coaches. This is something that obviously the league mandated with the new schedule. A lot of it was because of the Pac-12 networks coming in. I'm an optimistic person, so I'm looking at it as an exciting opportunity. I know both games are going to be on national TV, and that's going to give us both a chance to showcase the Washington program. So looking forward to it. I don't know, to be honest with you, how it's going to play out or not play out. I think, it's like anything. You got to give it some time. But, it's a new challenge, and we'll take it one step at a time. But I'm going in with, with an optimistic attitude.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Another one about.
Go ahead.
I do have one about Daugherty. What was the hardest, point for her as far as that as far as rehabilitating and kind of getting back this season?
Yeah, we used a lot of references to Sue Bird. Jada, you covered the Storm, and that Sue's been bit twice by ACL and has gone on and on and on and continues to have a phenomenal basketball career with obviously USA Basketball, International Basketball, and the WNBA. But there are times that she actually wanted to do more in the summer, and the doctors were trying to hold her back a little bit and saying, hey, we know you're feeling great, but let's let that body really heal. You've got the time to let that heal. So she's a go-getter. On the weekends, even in the summer when I get into the weight room, she's always in there, always working on her cardio, always working on her strength and conditioning. So this is a very self-motivated individual. But probably the biggest thing, Jada, was just to kind of, hey, let's back down a little bit and make sure that leg has a chance to really heal up strong. And she's been able to do it. Dr. Tingstead and his staff and our training staff here really do a phenomenal job. So, but you're always going to have the mental side of it to deal with, and Daugherty knows that, and she's just taking it one day at a time. And from everything I've seen, she's been pretty aggressive in the great majority of practices. I did want to mention Hannah Potter. I forgot to mention her, and I'll tell you what, Hannah is a new and improved woman model, if you can, with basketball. This is a person who has totally transitioned herself through a different nutritional plan, working with our full-time nutritionist here at Washington State, and really training at a much higher level. But she is a lot quicker. At the same time, you guys know she's a very physical power player inside, but she's getting up and down the floor and she's challenging the guards right now. But at the same time, she's maintaining that tough bruiser attitude in the post. She's slowed down with her moves. She had a jump hook the other night in the game against a very good frontline player from Simon Fraser, and then turned around, stepped out and hit a 3 back-to-back. So her versatility continues to improve, and she's somebody that I think is really poised for an exciting junior year.
Anything else on the line for Coach?
June, this is Trimmer. You guys were picked far down in the league, but with as competitive as it is it motivation, or is it just a reflection of how tough it's going to be every night?
Well, Trevor, it's about time you got back to work. First of all, we've missed you. Now, welcome back. I know you're always working. Hey, the preseason polls, I know they picked us 10th. And one, it is a reflection on how good this league is. You guys probably don't have the opportunity to really chart and watch the national recruiting that's gone on in our conference, whether it's at Washington State or the other 11 schools. But we have signed and kept a lot of great players and brought players in from all over the country. A great tribute to the coaches in our league and also the Pac-12 networks. We can tell parents now, you're going to see your daughter play. You're going to see her play all the time on TV. And that's something that we've dearly missed in the past. So it's a dream come true for a coach that's been in the league 22 years to see the type of media coverage. 61 games on this year live, and almost everything web streamed besides that. Each year it's just going to build and build. Being picked 10th is wonderful. We love it. We love it. It is a motivator, and it's something that obviously it's fun to go out and prove people wrong. And the only way you do that is go out and work each day and improve and keep working hard to play as hard as we can, as well as we can as a collective unit. So it's all good from our perspective. Again, we are challenging ourselves with the second highest RPI and strength of schedule in the conference, just a notch right below Stanford. And we look forward to getting to go out there and represent the Pac-12 and Washington State in some great competition to prepare for what I think is going to be maybe one of the best Pac-12 seasons ever, toe-to-toe, when you talk about competitive, talented teams.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. You guys still on? You're going to want to get to know how to pronounce these freshmen's names and where they're from. You're going to see them a lot. This is a talented group. And, the folks that got to see them a little bit of exposure the other night, people were walking out of the gym, and they've got their names memorized right now. And I kid you not, this freshman class is as good as anybody's in the country.